President Obama once said, in the wealthiest nation on earth, no one should go broke because they got sick. It's time for our country to offer our citizens a more affordable healthcare plan. I myself, like 27 million other Americans, don't have healthcare insurance. I'm a 32-year-old man who works and goes to school full time just so that one day I can make enough money to pay for things like healthcare. I can't afford the plans that are offered to me, and if I could, I wouldn't be able to pay the high cost of deductibles and copays that the insurance companies charge. All of you one day will reach a point where you will need to buy your own health care. If we start now, we can change the way it currently works so that it's affordable and it benefits everyone. Unaffordable health care is a major problem that affects millions of Americans every day, including myself. We need to know why so many Americans are struggling with the cost of health care insurance, what the cost of health care insurance is causing, and how providing a universal health care will benefit every single American. The cost of health care is in the United States is a major problem for all Americans. Some of the major problems that we have with healthcare is the cost is going up a lot higher and quicker than what our wages are, and both copay and deductibles are going up as well. From the mid-2000s till now, the price of healthcare has gone up 3 times compared to our annual salary. According to collectivehealth.com, from 2006 to 2018, the total cost of healthcare per employee has gone up 75% from $8,000 to $14,000 a year, while the annual salary of a full-time American worker has only grew by 25%. That's $35,000 to $44,000. Here I show healthcare 2006 to 2018. You can see the huge jump in 75, and our annual salary 2006 2018 has only gone 25. Big difference. Collectivehealth.com also states that healthcare represents the second largest operating expense for the employee wages, after employee wages. So the average American ends up spending half of what they make a year on healthcare alone. According to Milliman Medical Index, the total cost of a typical family of 4 who has insurance pays roughly $28,000 a year. The price of copays and deductibles has skyrocketed over the last few years. An article from CNBC says that over the past 9 years, employee out-of-pocket spending of family of 4 has increased by 69% because of the high copays and deductibles. As I show here, what's in black is out-of-pocket. Not much has changed for contribution from employer and employee, but out-of-pocket has gone up to almost 30 in the last 8 years. So we need to remember that this is a huge impact on all of us. Every single person needs healthcare coverage, but yet our wages haven't gone up as quick as what healthcare cost has, making it difficult for many Americans to afford it, or even worse, obtain it. Even if your family does have money to pay for health insurance, there are many Americans that just don't. The high cost of health care is causing a huge impact on the American people. Due to the high cost of health care, Many Americans are just not buying coverage. And many Americans who do have it fear of going into debt because of it. You might not know it, but some of your relatives and friends are walking around without health care at all because of the cost. 45% of uninsured adults say that they remain uninsured because it's just too expensive. 27 million of Americans don't have health coverage at all. And even the ones that do have insurance, they're still going into debt. Chances are that if you know anyone who's ever filed for bankruptcy, it's because of medical debt. People you know are struggling too with healthcare debt because of the high costs. With the high cost of healthcare, many Americans are struggling just to pay their part. More than a quarter of the United States adults are struggling to pay for their medical bills, and that includes adults that have insurance. Medical debt is a leading cause of personal bankruptcy in the United States, and nearly 1 out of 5 Americans have some kind of delinquency medical debt on their credit report. Many Americans just are avoiding health care because of the high cost. If you don't pay your health care, you'll go into debt. But we have a solution for that. It's been happening all around the world. Countries just like ours are offering health care to all of their citizens and not causing so much debt because of it. We need to provide our country with a health care plan that benefits all Americans. We need to do what other great nations are doing. We need to switch to a universal health care plan. Universal health care lowers healthcare costs for the economy. The government controls the prices of the medication and the medical service through regulation and negotiation. It forces hospitals and doctors to provide the same quality of services but at a lower cost. And if preventive care becomes accessible, it's also going to reduce the expenses of an emergency room usage. This is going to increase taxes. Gerald Friedman, an economist, says that it will cost roughly $1.38 trillion a year. But what this means is that instead of paying the insurance company directly, that money would just go to our taxes instead. And we wouldn't have any more deductibles or co-pays to worry about. To name a few, Canada, Japan, and Sweden and Germany are all using a universal health care. According to thebalance.com, out of 33 developed countries, 32 are using the universal health care. Us, the 33rd, are the only ones who are not. Most of these countries are using a single payer system. So, throughout the world, the great nation, all great nations except for the United States are providing a universal health care that benefits everyone. In conclusion, I want to make a difference in our country for our future. I know how expensive healthcare. We know how expensive healthcare costs has gone up 3 times higher than salaries have, and we know that many Americans are just not getting it because they can't afford the high prices. We need to take action now and use a healthcare system that works just like other great nations are doing. Every single one of you will be in the situation one day. We need to act now as a nation And we need to make a difference and help stop this disaster from continuing. Let's join the rest of the world and make great healthcare a system.